I know a lot of you all have seen my last video. Yeah, and the ones who have not, it's all right. I believe you can go back and see it. I was going to take it down, but I decided not to. I did not decided not to take it down for purposes. One major purpose is because I wanted you to see me. I'm not the person that's going to sit here and just act like, oh, I'm just this type of way, or I'm just that type of way. I'm a lot of different ways. I have a lot of different things that goes on with me, just like every other human being. And I want you to see me as that human being. I don't want you to think that, oh, because I'm doing this, or I'm speaking about the things I speak about, or come the way I come, that I'm trying to act like I'm holier than anybody else, or I'm better than anyone else, or anything of that nature. And I'm not. I am a man just like everybody else. I mean, I have emotions that runs through me and take over me at times, just like everybody else. I bleed just like everybody else bleed. I cry like everybody else cry. You know, I am human, just like everybody else. And so that's one of the reasons why I decided to keep the video up. And I'm not going to take it down. Plus, I have the right to do so. Yeah, and one thing I do notice with a lot of things that's going on is that a lot of people tell you, and this is preached a lot in churches and all over in different places, and it's in the Word. It really is in the Word. Are we supposed to respect the authority figures? And I agree with that. I really do. I agree, respect authority figures. You're supposed to, even if you don't like the person itself, you should kind of respect the position. That's why you hear me say pastor or preacher or anything else, and those things. If I did not respect the position, I would not even give that person that title. I would not even say that pastor this or that pastor that or this preacher here or that minister there. I would not even give you that title. I would just say this Mr. or Mrs., you know, and whoever last name I would use. And that's what I would honestly do if I did not respect the position. Just because I respect the position doesn't mean I have to agree with what the person says or the statements that they make. I do not have to do that. That's my choice. I have free will. God gave us all free will. And we have the choice to either do this or do that. That's our own choice. And anybody, any man on this planet try to tell somebody that they don't have that free will of choice, I cannot see respecting that. It's like saying the slave owner. You know, the way they was oppressing people. Because the head of this household that the slaves were staying in, the slaves had to respect them as their master. I don't believe in doing that. These people are oppressing people. And anyone that is in authority and you're oppressing people, or you running people away, or you hurting people, or you causing people's death, I cannot respect that. I'm not telling no one to go out and just go and disrespect cops, because we know cops do a lot of bad things to people. But not all cops, please. It's not all cops. It's like not all pastors are bad. Like not all ministers are bad. Like not all presidents are bad. Every man has their own agenda, but everyone is not all bad. And not everyone thinks the same way or do the same things. So we cannot go around and pointing fingers at everybody and just saying, oh, you the same person as that one, because we hear women do it all the time. Oh, well, since this man messed me over, all men are dogs. And it's just like me. I can't go around saying all pastors are dogs. Because, or are they all evil? Or they all corrupt? Or they all false flagging? You know, I don't say those things. I cannot say those things because it would not be true. And my purpose is to come bring you truth. It's hurting people. I know. That last video I put out, it hurt people. It hurted people. I know I did. Like I had to tell one of a few pastors this. I had to tell this to. That I'm glad I did what I did. I'm not proud of the way I've done it, because I spoke with a lot of anger and I sweared a lot. I ended up using a whole lot of profanity. When I rewatched the video, I was like, whoa, I didn't realize I used that much profanity. But it shows just how angry I really was. Now, instead of the people, the certain ones, instead of them finding out why was you so angry, they instantly took offense and tried to come at me in a wrong manner. And then they come at me in a wrong manner the same way I came in the video, but they is in higher authority. They supposed to be able to respect my authority, but you just came in the wrong manner. It showed what I showed in the video is the same thing. Hey, we all human. We're going to do this. We're going to let our feelings and emotions get in the way of what we're trying to say. At times, it happens. But because of that, I had to come and make sure that I do this first. To Pastor Fields, I am sorry. I said I'm sorry because I'm sorry for using your last name and using you as a reference in the video. And the way that I and the profanity that I used while I was using your name. As well as I also have to say to Brother Buckley, I did the same thing with you. I used profanity when I was using your name in a scenario. I apologize for that. I am sorry for it. And notice I only say I'm sorry when I truly mean I'm sorry about something. Other than else, I will say I apologize. But when I'm sorry about something and I'm truly sorry for it, I will say I'm sorry. And that's why I'm saying this to you two gentlemen now. I am sorry for using your names, your last names, in the video that I used. The reason I used you gentlemen because I look up to you gentlemen. Now you gentlemen both let me know that you was disappointed in me over the way I did things, and that's understandable. You have the right to be disappointed. I can't take that away from you. That's your own free will. But I still love you. And when I used your names, I was using it as a point, trying to make a point. It wasn't to bash you or to discredit you or to stab you or to slap you or to get other people to look at you in the wrong manner, because I don't want no one to look at these gentlemen in the wrong manner. These are some really good gentlemen, really good brothers, and I mean some real good men. And I use the word men as not boys pretending to be men, but actual men that stand up and do what needs to be done in a right manner, in a right form. They make mistakes just like I make mistakes, and as you all seen me make mistakes. Just like everybody else and all of you out there, we all going to make mistakes. Now, it's not the mistakes that you make, but it's learning from those mistakes that you make and changing it and doing things better. That's why you don't hear me now swearing and acting crazy, because I had to take time to reevaluate myself and reevaluate what I have done. And by doing that, it made me look bad, and it made me say things in ways that I should have not said them. Now, stating this, I am not sorry for what I said. Not sorry at all. I'm not apologetic for what I said. I stand by what I said. My wife stands by what I said. And I know there's a lot of people out there like you who's been through the things I've been through, and they stand with exactly what I'm saying. Of course, it offended people by the way I said it. That I am sorry for. And it's the way I said it that I'm sorry for, not what I said. Because I will always stand by what I said, because it's true. It's not a lie. It's not phony. It's not fake. It's truth. Truth hurts. I know. When God started showing me myself, oh man, I'm telling you, it was brutal. I really didn't like it. I honestly was the gentleman that used to run my head into the wall because I did not like seeing what I seen of myself. Even looking at that video, I was really shocked. And I looked really fat too. That was crazy. But I was shocked. I was shocked that I used that much profanity and that I allowed my anger to take so much control of me to where it just spewed out in bad ways. And that's from a lot of old hurts, a lot of old pains, which all of us do that, and especially a lot of us men and women, when we get in relationships from our past relationship that was so bad, and we turn around and we bring it into the new one and we kind of spill over. Not trying to, not meaning to, not purposefully. It just tends to happen. And so that's why I wanted to mention you two gentlemen now. That's why I'm mentioning your names now, because I mentioned it in the last video, and I want people to know that these gentlemen are not bad men at all. They really are not. And I sincerely mean it. I talked with these gentlemen. I spent a little bit of time with, especially Brother Buckley. I spent a lot more time with him than Pastor Fields, but the time that I have spent with Pastor Fields, he's a good man. He's a man that actually inspired me in a lot of ways. And I don't know if he even knew that himself. He's actually a man that I was looked up to. At one point, I was looking up to this man. And I was honestly about to fall all in with this man at one point. But it's my own personal reasons and his reasons that we know, and it's between me and that gentleman, is why I ended up backing away. But with the other gentleman, as I've spoken of, he's very good and talented brother. Very good and talented brother. And I see his heart is so wonderful. Both of these gentlemen's hearts are really genuine. They really are genuine hearts. And they try their best to do the right things. Like some of us. I say some of us. Because not all of us are trying to do the right things. But these gentlemen do. And I see how they give all their time and their dedication to God. And how they are diligent in getting closer to God and trying to help others to do the same. Those men I do respect. That's why I ended up using them, because I respected them so much to where it made me use them in my video. But please don't ever take it what I said in that video if I may have seen it because they feel that I really disrespected them. So if any one of you all that's seen it feels the same, just know that that's why I'm making this one, is to let you know that it wasn't to offend them or to make them look bad. It really wasn't. I was really trying to use them in a scenario and as examples because they was the first two that popped in my head because I spoke with them gentlemen at the time, and like I said, I really respect them. I almost said admire, but I don't want to use the word admire because that's almost like saying I'm envying them, and I don't envy no one because I don't really want anything that other people have. I may see something that you have that I like, and I will maybe try to go out to get that if I like that. But most of the time, I really don't care about it because anything on this planet is just materials. These are materialistic things, and I can't take none of this stuff with me when I pass. This flesh won't be with me when I pass. None of this shirt, none of this stuff I have will be here when I pass. So I don't really care for material things like that. It's not a major importance in my life. My major importance is trying to help people to recognize things and to see things that you did not once see. And that because we all go through things. It was like with history. You'll read over something, and you may not get the full understanding of it until you go back and check it again. And you know how we used to do in school. You think, oh, yeah, I know I got this paper done right, and we'll rush through it like I do in math, rush through stuff, and like, yeah, I know I'm good at it. And I realized, dude, you didn't even check your work. And you missed something. And that's what I'm speaking about when I'm talking about all the churches. And we have a lot of these pastors up here who are wrong. And who are doing a lot of bad things. Y'all see it on the news every day. Y'all see it on Facebook and Twitter. Y'all see the stuff that I see. So we all in agreement. We all are in agreement that we have some people out here that are really wolves in sheep's clothing. And we got people that think that I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm a little snake or a viper trying to get you. And that's not what I am. Anything that I say on this, or I say about, I can also go to that person and say it as well. No man on this planet puts any fear in my heart. Only thing that men on this planet do is make me mad. Now, I was going to use the other word, but because of these gentlemen, I told them I'm not going to use profanity this time. I'm not. But they really do. They make human beings tend to make me mad. The reason human beings make me mad is because I love them so much that I would honestly give my life for any man on this planet, man, woman, or child, because I love you that much. I did not, and this is how I got to understand how much love our Father has for us. It's because of that love that I have for mankind now. And I'm just a man just like you. And I have this type of love that is so strong. And I always had it, always. This is not something that just popped up out of random. This is something I always possessed, this type of love. I was born this way. I used to give my last for men. I don't see no men doing that. I barely see them doing that. I mean, I do things for men that was so strong, man. I will put my own self out on the street to make sure this other person have it in order for them to be successful in life. That's how much I love men. And I mean all men. I ain't had men that did things wrong to me. I had women that did things wrong to me. I had men and women that did things wrong to my children. My wife as well. My mother, my grandmoms, you know. My point is this. Although they did all these wrong things, and I mean some horrible things, some stuff that you'll just want to kill a person over, like, oh, you didn't do this, I can't believe it, and they come after you. I mean, they did some horrible things. But even them people I love so much that I would still give my life to see them go to heaven. How many of you people out there really can say that you love somebody that much to where you would give up all your possessions for them? To see them grow, to see them be more prosperous, to see them reach higher planes, to go farther than ever before. How many of you can say you actually love a human being that much besides them being your wife or them being your children or your husband? How many can say that? I'm telling you that right now. That's without a doubt. And the reason I'm saying this, because the people that know me from my past, they haven't seen me do it. They seen me do it. Some of the ex-girlfriends that I used to have seen me do this. And they caused a lot of arguments and a lot of problems, divisions. It made someone just leave me because they seen me love man that much to where I would give them all that I have just for them to rise. We know a lot of people, especially in church, we have a lot of, oh, I love you, brother, I love you, sister. But they would not do the things that I would do. They really wouldn't. So that's why I decided I was going to come tonight. Because I wanted to make sure I did do this. And I made sure that I am apologizing and for the way that I presented myself in that. I'm glad that I did it. I'm not mad over it. But I'm glad that I did it because it helped you all to see a real human being. Because we all are, but we don't really like to face it. And since you don't like to face it, I'm just going to I can face it. I can put it out there. I can put it on blast. I can put it on display. I'm not afraid of what I've been through. I'm not afraid of who I am. And I'm not afraid of nobody else. What does have fear, that brings some type of fear to me, which I don't even like having this fear, and it's this, to know and to see men that can do better but choose not to, or don't even try to. I honor those who are trying to. I honor those who are working at it. I honor those who are putting forth an effort. But the ones that know better and choose not to do better, I really don't have that type of respect for you in that matter. It doesn't, just because I don't have that respect does not mean I still don't love you. I just do not respect your decision. And we all have that right to not to agree or not disagree with someone. But we still do it in love. And I do have the love. Despite what people may say about me or despite what people think about me. Because I even know after all of this stuff, and when I really get into some really nitty gritty on some things that I'm going to get on with the rest of this, oh my God, I guarantee you people gonna come at me all sideways. I mean, I'll watch a show with Joseph Prince and Ron Carpenter and Joyce Meyer and Pastor Melissa Scott. I watch these people who bringing forth the word, and I can see the anointing. And I mean the anointing, which I can see the Holy Spirit coming through them and speaking through them. I still watch people persecute them. I still watch people talk about them. And you know what they did in return? They accepted it. They received it. And they said, amen, thank you, bless you, and continue moving forward. They didn't turn right around and start talking crap about them, or sit up in a pulpit and make all these bad and just downgrade them, or just put it all out on the pulpit and say, oh yeah, you was wrong for this and you was wrong for that. If you do that, and if you do that, then you are no better than that person that talked bad about you. You cannot say that you are. The only thing you can say is, hey, I'm human too. I just made a mistake. Let me correct my mistake. And I apologize for my mistake. But that's all, and just try not to do it again. That's all God asks. When He asks us to repent, you're going to make the mistake. You're going to. We all do. We all fall. And which is backsliding and messing around. We all fall. We all fall. We all make these mistakes because we're human. We're going to. But it's learning from those mistakes and not doing it again. Just like when Jesus told Mary Magdalene when they was going to stone her, any man without sin cast the first stone. All her accusers had to walk away because not one person could say, hey, I didn't do this, wasn't wrong. Not one person could judge her. Not one. And the only thing He told her, your sins have been forgiven. Now go and sin no more. But if we turn around and we sin and we make this mistake and we recognize and we ask for repentance on it, and then we keep turning around and doing that same thing over and over and over, and then we'll try to preach to somebody not to do it and we're doing the same thing, that's wrong. That is wrong. Now, I've been dealing with this issue with some people, and with some churches as well. Well, they get mad at me and they say, how are you self-proclaiming yourself? Never once have I ever self-proclaimed myself to be anything. When I was young and I was on the streets, and anybody that's from Chicago and live on the south side, on the low end like I'm from, and you know how things work. Even out west, I lived all over Chicago, so I'm a brother that lived all over Chicago. But I'm from the low end, south side, low end, 38th and Cottage Grove. That's where I'm from. And I mean back in the day, back in the 70s and the 80s, when the low end was the low end, not the low end that it is now, where it's all nice and pretty and fancy. No, that's not where I'm from. I'm from the back 70s and 80s, low end. Now, when I was on them streets and I was out there gangbanging, brothers used to see the things that I've done. And when they seen this, they were like, man, we got a name for you. And they decided, we're going to call you Menace. What, Menace? What the heck? Like, man, how you coming up with this stuff? What did y'all talking about? And they decided, well, dude, you doing the things we wouldn't do. You stepping out on people that we wouldn't step out on. Well, you coming at people that we wouldn't come at. Or you to do the dangerous things that we really would not do, and you bold and you front up about it. So they decided to call me Menace. So they gave me the name Menace G. It's not once have I ever called myself that. And like I said, if you're from Chicago, you know in the streets, you don't proclaim yourself to be anything. It's what people call you, and that's what they respect. And it's not you get that respect off of saying that this is who I am. The only thing I ever called myself was the Elster. I was kind of a comic book dude, growing up, kind of into those things. So I kind of came, and I was wanting to be a drawer and stuff. So I gave myself the name the Elster. That's the only thing I ever called myself. was the Elster. Everything else people gave me. When I have talked to people on the streets now, even to this day, while I was high or drunk or doing some bogus things, they would come up and I would speak with them and they would automatically, hey, are you a preacher? No. Or others would come, hey, are you a prophet? Because you just told me something that you dreamed about and, hey, man, it came true. No, I'm not a prophet. I'm just, hey, I dreamed it or I seen it and I just shared it with you because it was you, so I shared it. But that don't make me a prophet. I never looked at myself as one, nor a preacher, nor a minister or anything of that nature. I never looked at myself at anything. I never even called myself a Christian. Never called myself a Christian. Anytime anybody asks me what I am, I tell them my name is Elliott Wilson. And I'm a man that believes in God. I'm a man that believes that Jesus, that God put himself into a man's body. Well, so born his son, however you want to put it, because, you know, people got different ways of putting it. So I'm putting it the way that I believe, and this is what I believe. That Jesus came down to this earth, gave his life for us to be saved, and for us to have a connection to the Father. God gave his only begotten son to be sacrificed for our sins. That's what I believe. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that there was only one perfect man to walk this earth, and that was Jesus Christ. So, I don't like to put titles on things. That's why I never call myself anything, because I don't like to put titles on. Because when you put titles on things, then people looking at you under that title. They're not looking at who you are or what you're saying or what you're doing. Well, mostly those things. But they're looking at the title that you're under, because you're under this title, this is the way you're supposed to be. And I don't like to put no titles on it, because you're not going to put me in a category. This is like on applications. Why do we have race on there? For what purpose? My race, my skin color does not determine whether I can do the job or not. That has nothing to do with anything. It's my education. Am I educated or am I qualified to do this job? Not what color of my skin. And that's the same thing with with these titles. You put this person on this title, you put them in that category. I'm saying, well, since you got this title, this is what you're supposed to be falling under. And you got that title, this is what you're supposed to be falling under. I'm not a person to put in title because I don't really fall under anything. I'm a human being that makes mistakes like everybody else, and I do a lot of different things. I've done a lot of different things. I've experienced life, period. And I've experienced so much things, man, that will blow a lot of you people's mind if you was to know about it. Or the things that I went through, it would shock you. I ended up seeing counselors. They always sent me to a counselor my whole life. Since I was a child, I've been going to counselors because everybody thought I was crazy or loony. And I decided when I got older to actually share some of my past with a counselor. I scared some of these counselors so bad to where they could not sleep for weeks. It disturbed them that much. There's a lot of people that haven't met a person like me. And because of that, they tend to judge me, which they don't have the right to. They tend to talk bad about me, which I'm expecting that. People want to do that any darn way. You know, others tend to hate me. I know it's going to happen. Although you hate me, I still love you. And I will still give what I can to you to help you. Now, dealing with them counselors calling me those things, man, and having a trouble because of my past. And that's why I say that I know for a fact that if you all was to know these things, it would probably trouble some of you. That's why I will not share every single thing with every single body, every single person. Some things I do share with people, and I'll share it for a reason. And it's just to try to prove a point or to get you to understand something. So when people come at me, it bothers some ways because I'm human and I have emotions and I have feelings, just like I know it bothers people. But I'm doing it for reasons. Because it also shows character. And I got to be honest. a lot of people have shown me their character. When they was worried about my character, I showed you my character, and I'm not afraid to show it to you. I'm going to show you all. I'll show you the anger. I'll show you the tears. I mean, I'm not afraid of this. But a lot of people put on this mask, and they feel they have to put on a facade all the time. And when you see them in certain places, they got this face on saying, yeah, I'm all this, and yeah. But then it turn right around, and they doing all these bad things. And we have a lot of those. And especially in the churches. And we all know that. That's why I keep coming at the churches. I'm coming at the churches not to hurt you, but to help you. And if you learn to stop looking at the hurting part, look past it, look beyond that, you'll actually see that I'm actually speaking truth that could help you if you would listen. Not everybody going to hear it, but I can hope that you will. And that's all I can do. I can just relate the message, but it's up to you to choose to receive it or not. Again, that's not saying that I'm anything. I'm not calling myself or saying I'm a prophet or anything of that nature. What I'm saying is I know I see a message and or I hear a message and I will give it to you. Your choice is to receive it or not. That's all your choice. Your free will. Because it just tends to bother me at times when some people in higher positions that feel because I'm in this position, I don't need to listen to you. We all need to listen to somebody. We really do. And people try to judge me, oh, you're not ready to be a leader. I've been a leader from the time I was born. I was born to be a leader. I don't like to follow because I did follow. I followed a lot of people. And I sit there and watching the people that I follow, and I watch how they was giving me more destruction, how I ended up in bad situations from following. And then I had to stop, and I had to start paying attention and start looking around. Then it became to the point of knowing who to follow and who not to follow. And some people expect because I don't follow them that they feel that I'm wrong. No, it's because it's something in you that I see that is not right, so I choose not to follow, which is my choice. But those that I see that is right, those are the ones I am going to follow. And I will follow them until I'm placed into wherever I need to be placed. Or receive from them whatever I else need to receive. Because in reality, we all have got some knowledge for someone. We all do. It ain't just many people on this planet and tell me that somebody got some information that you need. And that's bull crap. We all got some information that we need. We may not be aware of it at that time, but in due time, all things will be revealed. All questions will be answered. It's about what time. Is it time for you to receive this, or if it's not time for you to receive it? And everything that I say, everybody's not going to receive at the same time. Some people might receive it as soon as they finish watching this. Others might receive it a week after they've seen it. Others might receive it months or maybe even years. That's not for me to say. That's only God to say. He knows when. And he knows when you're ready and when you're not. And sometimes some people are just really not ready. They think they're ready, but they're really not ready. That's why God takes his time on giving us what we want or giving us the things that we need. Because he knows when you're ready for it. And when you're not ready for it. He knows when you need to receive it and when you don't need to receive it. So, like I was telling people, just look at when you look at God, man, just look at him as a parent. And just understand the love that you have for your child. Or even the ones that do have a child yet, because I know some of you don't have a child and want a child, but you feel you're not ready for a child, and you can imagine that love. I know you can still imagine that love. Or just reflect back when you was a child and what your parents was doing. I know you should understand by now, especially if you're grown, that you should understand why your parents did certain things. They did it out of love. And I mean good parents. Let me make sure I make that clear. Good parents, because we got a lot of bad parents too. Don't get that twisted. We got some bad parents doing some bad things to their children. We really do. But I mean, if you have a good parent or parents, because not everybody grew up with their mother and dad. I know. I didn't. I didn't. I still don't even know who my real dad is. I don't really care. I'm 37 years old, so I really don't care. Only reason I kind of need to know is because of medical reasons. Other than else, outside of that, I really don't care. I grew to be a man without him, and I will continue on without him. He doesn't define me. And a lot of these, in my past, it really doesn't define me. My past is who made me who I am. Now, at one point in time, I was mad at God. I really was. I was mad, furious, because I was going to churches trying to get closer, and I was seeing how the churches was hurting people and how they was doing people wrong, how they was talking behind people's back, making fun of people, persecuting people, judging people. I watched how they was doing that. And I watched how the stuff that I was going through outside in the streets, outside of the church. So it's like I was going through crap outside the church and coming into church going through crap too. So it's like, whoa, man, where's I'm supposed to get some help at? So I got mad at God, which I was wrong. I should have never been mad at God. Never. And I say that's the same to you people now. I know some people that may be watching this that really is mad at God. You should not be mad at God. God did not do this to you. He allowed you to go through certain things for reasons. Everything happens for a reason. Nothing happens just to be happening. That's just like saying, oh, this planet just magically appeared and just the world came into existence. No, nothing happened just to be happening. There's a reason for everything. All it is you got to take that time out to find out what that reason is. You ask the right questions, you get the right answers. Now, with all these things that I've been saying and that I'm doing, I know that I'm going to have some people that's going to be a little upset with me and want to probably come against me. I'm prepared for that. I'm not a runner. I'm not a runner. And that's why I wanted to let you know that even though I was mad at God, and this is what I'm saying to you, even though I was mad at God, I come to thank him and to love him even more. I know you're wondering, wow, how is that possible? Well, it's because it's once I kept reading the word. I kept reading his word. And I kept searching and seeking, not giving up. Because I'm a person, I don't give up. I really don't like to give up. That's something I'm not into. I keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Only time I end up stopping is when I'm being forced to stop. Even with a church that I was trying to help. And I was told that I needed to dust my shoes off and go. And all I was doing was trying to help them. And because that was biblically, that was in the word, and he used the right form. But because of this, I chose, okay, it's time for me to go. But I knew I could not leave until I said what needed to be said. It's not that, and people get this mixed up with me a lot. When I'm told to tell you something and I don't do it, I be in a lot of pain. And I go through it until I get out what I'm supposed to get out. And I go through it. I seriously go through it. And at first I was confused by it, but now I understand it. I didn't understand, but now I do understand. If I have to say something to a person and I refuse to do it, I go through pain. And you'll know what I'm talking about, especially people that read the word. And you'll know about the story of Jonah. God told him to go do something. He decided he wasn't going to do that. He had to sit in that fish, the belly of that whale, for 3 days until he finally decided, I'm going to do what you say. And with me, it's not a belly of a fish. With me, it's more of a physical pain. It's a physical pain that I go through until I say what I'm supposed to say. Even when I don't want to say it. And I feel I don't have the right to say it. I feel, who am I to say this to this person? This person is in a higher position than me. This person seems to be more honorable than me. How can I say something like this to this person? Who am I? I still smoke. I still every now and then have a drink. I still have less issues I have to deal with. I still got these things to deal with. I still got that to deal with. God don't care about those things. He don't. He will send a drunk person to someone to tell him what he needs them to say, if he's got to do it. If he needs to send a woman to say something to a man, you better go do it. A child, or a weed, or a crackhead, it doesn't matter who it is. When God needs this person to say something to that person, he will send them, whether you want to believe that or not. That's not for you to judge. That's for you to either choose to receive it or not to receive it. That's your choice, your free will. But when you're trying to stop that person from doing what God told them to do, then you're hurting that person. And that's not cool. I sat in pain for a long time. A long time. But if you look at me now, not in pain no more. I feel better now. It's like I feel rejuvenated. It's like I'm more awake. Now, the people that don't know this, I went through a lot of surgeries because, like I said, I did a lot of things. A lot of things happened to me in my past. And for a while, I could not walk. Could not walk. Even when I tried to walk, I was going through a lot of pain trying to walk. I could not jump. I could not run. I could not do anything. But until I finally delivered a message that God told me to deliver, although the people may not have received it, but I still delivered it. Check it out. I can jump. And I could not jump. But now I can jump. I haven't tried running yet. I haven't because I feel I'm looking too fly that you can be trying to go out there and run. I'm just messing around with y'all. I just had to throw something in there to get attention. But I'm serious. I can jump now. I feel better. My backs don't hurt no more. I ain't got them major headaches no more. Who knows? I probably can sleep tonight. And I feel so good inside. I mean, I feel so good. I felt, man, I just can't. It's just hard for me to even. You have, whoo, man, you have no idea. And this is I ain't got time to go into all those things, but we'll do those in another session. But I just want to say, man, I feel great. I feel great. That's how I know when God told me to go tell somebody something. That's how I know when God is talking to me. That's how I know. Because I go through the pain if I don't do it. At one time I had to go tell something to my father, my pops. And I called him my father because he's the man that was around growing, helping me to grow up to be a man. And he did the best that he could. And he wasn't perfect, just like everybody, but he did the best he could. And I had something I had to tell him one time. And I had to move into his home. I didn't even want to ask him to move into his home. Like I said, I got injured. I got injured real bad. So I had to move into his home. And I did not want to. But God kept telling me and kept bugging me until I finally decided to call him to ask him to let me stay there for a while. Me and my wife. So he let us stay. And then it was something that he needed me to say to them. And again, I was questioning, and I found myself in pain. I got real sick because I felt if I said this to him, I'm going to get thrown out and then I'm going to be homeless on the street. And I did not want to go back to that. But I got real sick. Real sick. And even I tried to leave his home so that I would figure if I don't leave his home and go back on the street, then I can say what I need to say and I'll start to feel better. So I tried to leave. Couldn't leave. No matter what I was doing, God would not allow me to leave until I said what I needed to say. When God told me to go say this, I finally said it, then I was able to go. As soon as I was able to say it, I was free to leave. And I started feeling better. I didn't get completely full because, like I said, I just went through an injury. I didn't have the surgery yet. A lot of the problems was occurring. But I felt better. And I was finally able to leave his home. So when I tell you, or if you ever see me, and I come to you, hey, God told me I need to say this to you, just let me say it. Even if you don't agree with it, even if you feel that I'm not the one to be saying anything to you, let me say it so I won't be in pain. Because if you love me, don't leave me in pain because you feel you don't need to hear what I have to say. Don't leave me in pain. Please don't. Just let me say what needs to be said, and then I can move on. And I ain't got to be walking in pain. I wouldn't do that to you. So please don't do that to me. This is for anybody that sees my face right now and that's listening to this. Please don't do that to me because I won't do it to you. I really won't. And if you holler that you love me, don't do that to me, please. Because you're not showing me that you love me. You're showing me that you really don't care and that you really don't even respect me. I can deal with that. If you don't respect me, I can deal with that. That doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't expect everybody on this planet to respect me. And everybody on this planet ain't going to respect you neither. So don't expect people to. Everybody ain't going to love you. Everybody ain't going to be kind to you. Everybody ain't going to be nice. Although it would be great if people would show respect to each other, be hospitable to each other, be kind to each other, be nice to each other, speak kind words to each other. Although that's what Jesus said for us to do. That would be nice if we would. But everybody ain't finna do that. So taking offense to some of the things that I say or the things that I do, and then turn around and blast it on the pulpit or blast it at somewhere else, it's like, man, you just did the same thing I did. And you got on my case about it, and then you turn around and do the same thing. What made you better than me on that? Please tell me. How is that culture all right? That's not at all. That's not. And I'm not here to blast anybody, and I'm just using examples again. Because like I said, people really seem to be getting offensive about a lot of things. And if you got offense about something I'm saying, then I really think maybe you need to look within yourself. Because if I'm saying something that's offending you, and I'm not actually just talking directly to you, then that means you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're not liking what you're seeing. Because I have a bad habit of that at times. I really do. I have this thing to where I would turn around and you did something to me, and I try to tell you that you did something to me and you didn't want to hear me. I'll do it right back to you. I would do it right back to you. And why you do that? Well, because you just did it to me. And why didn't you say something to me? Because I tried. You didn't want to hear it. But you didn't pay attention to it until I did it to you. It's like people like to dish out stuff but don't want to receive it. It's like I can dish it out, but I can't take it. If you can't take it, don't dish it out. It's like the old saying, you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Well, that's true. If you cannot take it, do not dish it out. Don't do that. Because I have, again, I was talking to a pastor again. I was telling him about how I don't like how people always try to tell me, hey, you gonna do this and you gotta do that. That's a pet peeve of mine. Because I know that's a pet peeve of mine, and I know that it tends to trigger my anger real quickly, because I'm hot-tempered. I'm learning to try to control that, but if you do that to me, that triggers me. And when that triggers me, I'm ready to come at you. So I ask people not to do that to me, and that's why you don't see me doing that to no one else. I don't ever do that to anybody. I ain't finna tell you got to. I've been having a hard time doing that with my own children. Hey, I need y'all to do this. Would y'all please go and do this? Then I just ask you, now I'm got to tell you, get your butt up and go do it. That's how I am with my children. Because that's how I feel. I cannot take it, so I won't dish it out. But there's a lot of people out here that does that. They dish out all this stuff, say all these things, and do all these different things to people. But as soon as it come back on them, they can't stand it. Ah! And they right there, ah! And then you start saying their character. And that's why I'm speaking. And I will express it more than once. If you can't take it, don't dish it out. And any man that is in any high position, know this. you are going to be ridiculed. You are going to be talked about. If you do not like that, then I suggest you step back or get out of whatever position that you're in. That's a suggestion. That's not telling anybody anything. That's just suggesting. Because if you really cannot take the ridicule, or you take everything that has been said to be offensive, then maybe that's a position that you're not supposed to be in. Some it can handle it, and some are on work in progresses with this stuff. And if you're on work in progress, continue on, do your thing. If you can handle it, continue on, do your thing. If God led you to do this, I suggest you do it. Because he counts, and what he says means more than any man on this planet. That's why I'm not a person that really follow man. I follow God. God leads me to the right man to follow. And he will let me know if this is the man I need to follow. Because there's a lot of people that have seen me or seen me under them or seen me around them and they think I'm supposed to follow them. No. I'm not there to follow you. I'm probably there to either say something to you or I'm there to observe something from you. But I'm not there to follow you. I know who I'm supposed to follow. I know the difference. I've been on this earth too long. I went through too much for too many years. I know the difference now. I always have. It's just everybody feels just because of this, yeah, I'm supposed to. I'm not supposed to do anything but follow what God tells me to do. That's the only thing I'm supposed to do. That's why I had them say, oh, I'm sorry for the way I acted. Because God did not approve of me performing the way I did. I know why I did it, but he did not approve of it. And I never say that God was in me, speaking through me when I was doing all that profanity. That's a lie. Anybody tell you that God is speaking through them when they're doing all that profanity, they're lying to you. Because God don't use profanity. That's a man-made thing. That's not a God thing. It really isn't. I know this. I don't need people telling me this because I already know it. Been here, done that. If you did it, that's why I always say been there, done that. Because just about everything you've done, I have done. I have. And I'm not afraid to admit that. I like who I am. I know who I am. And can't nobody change that. Can't no man on this planet change anything. If anything in me that is impure, God is still working on me, and he will change that in me. I don't need no man to tell me this. I know this. That's why I'm allowing him to change me. And he would do it in the time that he needs to do it in. Nothing happens in 2 minutes. Well, except unless you microwave the food. But God ain't no microwave. We ain't no microwave. It takes time to get rid of all that old stuff. It takes time to pure away all that impurity. It ain't something that's just going to happen when you feel it should happen. It will happen in his time. Because although you may want something, that's all you can do is want it. Which he said we're not supposed to want for anything. The word. We're not supposed to want for anything. So, just because you want it doesn't mean you're going to always get it. That only means that things will come in due time. And that's on his time, not our time. Because we are too fast and impatient people. We constantly want everything, especially this generation, man. It's like, yeah. It doesn't work that way with God, man. No. He don't work that way. So stop trying to think that God does and God do these things. No, he works when it's time. It's like if he chose he want to give somebody something right now, he would give it to him right now. If he chose, hey, you finna get this in like 3 years, then you're going to get it in 3 years. I mean, seriously. Abraham, he told Abraham he was going to give him a child. When Abraham left his family and went where God told him to go, man, he was over 100 years old already. I mean, his wife like, man, we in our no, yeah, we in our hundreds, and you talking about have a child. Hold on, was he in his hundreds? I think I may have that wrong. Yeah, she was in the 90s or something when he finally had the child, and he was 100 when he had this child. So let me correct that. He was in his hundreds when he had his child. She was in her 90s. But Abraham was pretty older by the time he decided to walk off. He was older. He was an older gentleman. He wasn't that darn young, you know. And God told him, "Hey, you're gonna bear children. You're gonna have people. What this generation gonna last through like the stars in the sky, something like that." It's like, yeah, that's. And Abraham, okay. And by the time he hit 100, they all having a child now. It's like, man, I'm in my 90s. I'm having a child now. See, it didn't happen when they was younger and when he was expecting. That's my whole point. God did not give him the child when he was expecting it. Because even his own wife was expecting it at the time, and she could allow him to go lay with her maid. It was a maid, right? You know, lay with her maid. And she was trying to rush what God said he was going to give him. And you can't rush what God wants. Because all you're going to do as a man is mess it up. We cannot rush God. So stop thinking that we can. We cannot rush God. He's going to do it during his time. That's the purpose I'm using. Now, I may not have I'm not saying it all proper, because I'm not in my word right now. I'm reading the word in scripture for scripture. I'm just paraphrasing, and but you know what I'm talking about, especially those who read the Bible. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and check it in Genesis, man. It's in Genesis, right? When he's talking to Abraham? Yeah, I believe it's in Genesis. But you go check it, read your word. I'm telling you, read your word, you have all that you need. I don't have it written down in front of me. I don't have my Bible in front of me. That's the reason why I'm not able to give you the exact quotes. But that's all right. I'm still trying. I'm making a point. And my point is this, that we cannot rush God. We really cannot. We cannot think that God's going to give us things at the time that we want it. He's always on time. And that means the time that you needed to receive it is when you will receive it. Well, that's my point on that. Okay, now I'm finna get up off here because I'm sweating, as you can see, sweating profusely. I do have a lot of other things that I need to run across and I need to go through, and I want to make sure the next time I come through here, I'm going to have my word in front of me. I'm going to have my papers and stuff, so that way I can give you the exact quotes and the exact words that the word says, because I do not want you to go out here and thinking that I'm giving you these things and I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. It's in the word. It's just I don't have everything right in front of me. And a lot of people tend to judge me over that, which I really wish people would stop judging each other. You can't even judge yourself. How can you judge another? It's not even the pastor that says this, but he just brought it back to remembrance. But as Jesus actually said it, love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's what all he asks. Love thy neighbor like you love thyself. So if you love yourself, show love to others. Because when you show love to others, they will show love to you. I'm not expecting you to be like me. It's not many people on this earth that is like me. But I do ask you just to do the simple things and just to love your neighbor like you love yourself. Because that's what Jesus wanted for us all. And we all need love. So may God be with you all and with whatever journey that you choose to take. Hopefully it's the right journey, and hopefully it's the journey for God. Even if you don't believe in Him, I would suggest just to open your mind a little more. That's all I suggest. Just open your mind just a little more. Even if you don't really believe Him, open your mind and just read it for yourself. Just check out the Word. I mean, because there's a lot of people that don't believe in God, but you ain't never even picked up the Bible or even read it. Don't go off for a religion. Just go off and just read it for yourself. Just check it out. I mean, I did it. I was serious. I checked into all these religions. I even checked into witchcraft. I checked in it because I have an open mind. A lot of people say they have an open mind, but they really do not. Because when you try to bring them something that allows them to open up their mind, they close it up real quick. Like, no, they'll shun it away. I ain't trying to hear that. And that's not being open-minded. Being open-minded is knowing that, hey, look, I can at least listen to what you have to say. I can at least listen to it. That's just to see. I can at least read it, check it out, to see what you're talking about. You just check. I ain't gotta actually go out there and say, "Oh, I'm with this now," and I ain't ask you to do none of the other stuff. I just pick it up and just read it for yourself. Just check it out. And that's if you don't believe in it, it's fine. That's your preference. That's your own free will that God has given you. But you can't tell me that God don't exist when you see the sun sitting up in the skies. You see that moon up in the sky at night. You see them stars shining bright. And you see this planet just in rotation with no strings and nothing is pulling it. You can't tell me that Big Bang Theory works. Because I'm a math person. And I checked. That crap is not adding up. I'm telling you, it doesn't add up. Only thing that leaves you with is more questions after more questions after more questions after more questions. And you can search for them answers all you want. I've done it. You're not going to get it. I even know people that's pastors now that once were scientists and believed in that. And they no longer believe in it because every time they kept looking, they found, hey man, it's not adding up. But when they read the word, they realized, oh, now this adds up. The word adds up. The Big Bang Theory does not. It really doesn't. That's all I'm going to say for tonight. That's all I'm going to say for right now. So all the people that I have offended or that felt offended, I suggest you honestly look within yourself, begin to see what I was saying to be true. Well, you look within yourself and you see if it's true or not. I'll put it like that. Now I say check into yourself and reevaluate some things. I know I used a lot of profanity. I know I did. But let's look past that. Let's not just look at the surface. Because too many of us just look at the surface. Let's look up underneath. Because when you start looking up under your couch, you'll start seeing all that dirt and all them dust mites that your butt did not think about, or whatever cereal or food that your child may have put up under that couch. Because on top of the couch, it look like they done cleaned up. But when you look up under them beds and you look up under that couch, like, whoa! That's the way I ask you to approach my videos. I just always look at the surface, but look up underneath. And I guarantee you'll see something that might shock you and may change the way you think. So I thank you. I thank you all for taking the time to listen to me. And may God be with you. Amen.